Hi parents, thanks for coming and watching the Meet the Teacher Night video for Algebra 2. I'm going to be your Algebra 2 teacher. My name is Mrs. Peterson, and I'm extremely excited to come back to school after sitting around all summer and not being able to go out and do some of my favorite things. So this video, I'm going to just go ahead and go through some required materials. I'm going to take a look at homework, grading policies, and then I'm going to talk about if your student is not being successful for whatever reason, some things that you can help them with to help them become successful, and then give you my contact information. So bear with me when I go through my slides if there's any technical issues. So this is the 2021 school year, and I am the Algebra 2 teacher. So I was born in Pennsylvania and was raised in New Jersey. And when I went through elementary and high school in the Catholic school system, and when I graduated, I decided to move out to Indiana and become a Boilermaker. I graduated from Purdue University with 2 bachelor's degrees, one in mathematics and one in computer science, and I never really thought I'd ever use my math degree. My computer science was what I have always loved, and I have loved math, but computer science was so much more exciting at the time. What brought me out to Arizona was a job at Intel. Right out of college, I got hired by Intel, and I worked at Intel as a programmer and a manager for 15 years, and during that time, I was married and had 4 children. My 2 oldest kids are in their 30s, and my 2 younger kids went through the Catholic school system, and you can see their names in the sticky note on this slide. When I finally quit work after 15 years, after my 4th kid, I decided to stay home and be a stay-home mom. And that didn't last very long because I got extremely bored. And within the first year, I was a substitute teacher. And a couple years after that, I started tutoring high school math students. And that tutoring brought me to realize that I really love high school students and I really do love math and teaching it. So I was hired by Seton in 2013 to be part of their Algebra 2 program, and I've been doing that ever since here at Seton. So let's see, the next slide. We're going to talk about textbooks and subscriptions, the things that are required. So we're going to be using the Intermediate Algebra 2 6th edition textbook by Martin Gay. And this textbook we've been using for many years now. And all of our graphing homework will be taken from this textbook. So you have to purchase it. Every chapter has a graphing section, and your student needs to be able to use this textbook to get their graphing homework. Also, it is a great resource if your student needs more support. And I know reading a math book is not maybe the top of the things that they want to do in their life, but if they do need more explanation or they just didn't understand what was being talked about in class, reading that textbook is really something I really push students to do. Also, it's got great step-by-step examples. All the examples that I do in class are also in the book, along with, I add some examples that the book doesn't have, but those examples that the book does have, they have great step-by-step explanations. The other thing that your students will need is Math Excel for school, and you need to purchase a year-long subscription, and I'll be sending out a notice that your student to your student and to you on how to purchase that and create that account. And most of my homework in this class will come from Math Excel. So their daily homework will be Math Excel homework. And for that homework, students are to work problems out on paper and enter their answers in Math Excel. Other supplies that they need, they're going to need lined loose paper and graph paper. They're going to need pencils because I do not accept any work in pen. They're going to need a ruler or a straight edge. So if you don't have a ruler, any straight edge will do. And then a calculator. And the calculator doesn't have to be expensive. My favorite calculator is a $10 Casio calculator that I picked up at Walmart. And so they just need a calculator that evaluates exponents and roots. log that evaluates logarithms, both the common log and the natural logarithm, and that has the natural number on it. So any calculator that just has your basic mathematic operations will not work. Make sure that you have the calculator that's a step up from this. Okay, so those are the required texts and resources. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to talk about is homework policy and grading policies. All right, so like I said before, most of our homework is from Math Excel. Students are to work each of the Math Excel problems out in an orderly fashion on paper and then type their answers into Math Excel. Math Excel will tell them whether they're right or wrong, and that's one of the reasons I use Math Excel, because when I was doing textbook homework, a lot of students wouldn't bother paging to the back of their book to see if they've answered the question correctly. So they would practice doing a lot of the problems incorrectly, and therefore their test grade wasn't very well. The Math Excel work is going to be submitted online, and then their hard copy is going to be submitted either in person, like they're going to turn it in if we are teaching in person, or they're going to create a soft copy of their work and turn it into Canvas, and I will be sending those instructions out to each one of your sons and daughters. Graphing homework will all be taken from the textbook, as Math Excel does not do that great of a job teaching students graphing skills. And then because most of our homework is in Math Excel, I have students that cannot remember to take their textbook home. But I left my textbook at school is not a valid excuse for missing an assignment. So make sure you stress that with your students. Lastly, I highlighted at the bottom that the homework average in Canvas is typically within 10 points of the test category for almost all students. So say your student only does 50% of their homework, and they have a 50% in their homework category. That means their test average will be somewhere between 10 points below their homework category, to 60, 10 points above their homework category. So it's really important. You can see that if they're only doing 50% of their work, a lot of students will not be passing this class. So that's something really important to remember. So how do I grade? Well, homework is worth 20% of the overall grade in my class. For a Math Excel assignment, they get 1 point per correct Math Excel problem, and they get 1 point per problem written on their paper that they turn in. So that means if they have 20 problems to do in one night, if they get all 20 correct in Math Excel, that's 20 points. If they turn in written work for all 20 problems, that's another 20 points. So each assignment is going to be worth double the number of problems that are given. If their assignment is turned in late, it is reduced by 50%. So be careful with that late work. If a student does not turn their work in on time, instead of getting maybe 40 points for a homework assignment, they're only going to get 20. Also, the other thing to look out for is that I do allow 1 extra day for students to fix any of their Math Excel problems. So after they do their homework, if they got stuck on one, they can log back in that night and improve their grade by clicking on that problem in Math Excel and correcting it. So I always wait a day before putting in their grade for that assignment, that Math Excel assignment. Okay? Tests are going to be worth 60% of the overall grade, and they will get Math Excel chapter reviews that will be part of homework. Taking tests on time is extremely important, because if students do not take a test on time, the material typically is not fresh when they come in to take a test. Students who are absent the day of a test for a sickness can come back and arrange a time with me. But if they are absent for, if they know they're going to be absent for like an athletic event or for a doctor's appointment, they need to take that test in 0 hour or the day before the class that they're missing. Okay, that test class. And finally, the final is worth 20% of the overall grade, and my finals are typically multiple choice. So what happens if your student is struggling in this class? So this is another really important topic. What can you do to help your student? Well, first off, be positive about math. I've heard many parents say, well, I was not good in math, so therefore my kid's not going to be good in math. Well, that's kind of an attitude that does not promote growth. It's more of a fixed mindset, and I really want students to know that with hard work, they can do well in this class. There has been very few students that I've ever taught that could not pass this class. I would say 98% of the students that have come through my class have the capability of getting a 75% or higher. With hard work, they can easily get that. But if you see them struggling, don't wait to get help. Delete all math programs from their phones, such as Photomath and Mathway. These programs are as easy as clicking a picture of a problem, and these programs come back with answers and complete solutions. There are so many students out there that are using these programs as opposed to doing their homework the way they're supposed to be doing, using their brain to help them remember the steps on how to do these. Take away the calculators. On tests, there are very few problems that I allow calculators on, but I do allow them on certain problems on tests. But for the most part, tests are taken without calculators. So if they don't know how to multiply two numbers on paper because they always use a calculator, they're not going to do well on a test. Also, pay special attention to how your student or your son or daughter does their homework. Are they constantly being interrupted? Are they sitting down and watching YouTube videos in between homework problems? Are they switching out songs on their playlist because they don't like a particular song? Are they getting up and taking breaks? These are things that are very disruptive to learning math and take much longer for your student to do their homework. And also, lastly, frequently check out their grades on Canvas. If you have any issues, please contact me. And that leads into my contact information. How do you get a hold of me? Well, there are two ways. Email is the fastest, and there's my email address. And then phone is the least fastest because my phone, for whatever reason, doesn't always blink when there's a message on it. So there's my extension and my email. Don't hesitate to contact me if you have any questions, and I hope your student and your son or daughter are as excited as I am to get back to class. I think having Google Meet meetings every period with a whole class is going to be much better than the way that we did it last year. So I'm really excited for this school year. I hope that you guys are also excited for it, and welcome to Algebra 2.